I I have been diagnosed with SDWDD. I know the date is what it is, okay? I know what the date is, but I simply had to get this out as quickly as possible because I didn't want to wait with these news that I have gotten SDWDD. Now, SDWDD is a rather rare disorder, and so you may have noticed that I'm a bit unusual. I think you've seen it. I think you are seeing it right now, so to speak. So I figured I'd tell you a bit about SDWDD so that you will know, what there is to know, so that you may take that into consideration when you're watching what I'm creating, when you're watching me, when you're hearing me speak, when you see me do something. So I think it's important that people are aware that I have SDWDD. I think it's important that people know what it means and what it stands for and such. So I'm trying to make a rather short video today, just explaining what SDWDD is. And I think that when you hear what it is about, you will understand how that will affect content and how it has affected content in the past. So SDWDD stands for Schmigel-Dickel-Wellington's disease disorder. Now, Schmigel-Dickel-Wellington is a British, or was, he's dead. He died a long time ago, in the beginning of the 19th century. No, the 1900s, the 1900s. And Schmigel-Dickel-Wellington, he is, or was, as I just explained, a British Flemish guy, hence the name. He's got Dick in there, he's got Wellington in there, but he also has Schmigel in there, and hence, there's a bit of Flemish in there as well. And he was like a doctor type. I don't know exactly what. I'm not an expert on Schmigel-Dickel-Wellington, but he was a guy, science guy, doctor guy in the late 1800s, and he had jars of brains. Not unusual for the time, but he had these, and he saw that some of them, they acted in this strange way. They would move, actually. So, part of the frontal brain would expand at times and shrink at times. And when the front part shrunk, the back part expanded. So it's like I'm gonna try to put some images on the screen so that you understand sort of the process, how it looked, roughly. It's hard to illustrate that with these images. I'm not very good at editing, as you know, but I'm trying to explain how it looked. And basically what Schmigel-Dickel-Wellington's disease disorder does, is that the insane lobe in the brain is at times much larger than it usually is. When the back part is big, the insane lobe is big, and the person is more insane. At the same time, the profound/creative part of the brain, it's the same part, is big, or is small. So when the insane one is big, the profound creative one is small. And when the profound creative one is big, the insane one is small. So Schmigel-Dickel-Wellington basically just saw this. He saw a brain do this, and he was like, whoa, something's up. And he did some research, and he managed to discover it, basically. He was the one who discovered Schmigel-Dickel-Wellington's disease disorder. Now, as you notice in the name, it's not called Schmigel-Dickel-Wellington's disorder. Which would make sense. It's called disease disorder. Now, why is that? Well, it's because he labeled it a disease at first, but, certain things changed. Like, we used to consider homosexuals sort of mentally ill as well, and we don't do that anymore, at least I don't. And it's the same sort of situation here, where instead of calling it a disease, we call it a disorder these days. And it's... You know how it is. It's that's the principle. But we still kept the disease in the name because some people would be confused otherwise. So now it's just SDWDD, Schmigel-Dickel-Wellington's disease disorder. There isn't too much else to know. There are a couple famous people who have had or like who died and had Schmigel-Wellington's disease disorder, who is like theorized that they had that, and who are alive currently to have that. So a couple, 3 historical figures that have that. It's like we have Yun Feng. I'm not sure. I'm not the best at pronouncing, you know, but I think it's pronounced Yun Feng. We had Proterium grobli, another famous one, Slavic one. And also, like, I believe Jones Macaque had it as well, but I'm not sure if Jones Macaque had it, but I believe Jones Macaque had it as well. A couple of people who are alive today. We have Jim Crow. We have Beyonce, I believe, also has it. We have what is her name? Her name is like Nyon Lang Sun, I think. Nyon Lang Sun. I don't know. You know, I'm no expert. I believe her name is Nyon Lang Sun. So those are a couple of people that had it as well. And you know, I also want to say a Swedish saying that we have regarding this, because looking back at my life, now that I know that I've had Schmigel-Wellington's disease disorder all this time, you know, certain things look different to me. And it's, as we say in this Swedish saying, what it means is basically, well, I gotta say the saying first, so let's just get that out of the way. So, the Swedish saying, which, you know, we have in Sweden, the Swedish saying that we say sometimes is "Liv Guy Trav Gid. Arul Nak Guy Lis Amud Nid Lirpa Lirpa." And what this means is basically that a fish in a barrel cannot swim upstream. It isn't an exact translation, but roughly, a fish in a barrel cannot swim upstream, which means that certain things are set in stone. You can't change them anymore. They can't move. And that's how I think. That's what I think about when I think back on my life and decisions and actions I've made. Now that I know that I have Schmigel-Wellington's disease disorder, it really changes certain things, you know. But as I said, a fish in a barrel cannot swim upstream. So that's that for this video. I hope you learned something, because very few people know about Schmigel-Wellington's disease disorder. It's rare, but also like it's not insanely rare. Like you probably know someone who has it. But yeah, comment if you think you know someone else who has it. If you know of any other historical figure or otherwise who has it. And I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully my profound/creative lobe is big at that point. So right now I think it's a bit of a middle ground, because you know, when if you think of it like this, like when one's big and the other one's big, and sometimes you end up in this normal, that's kind of offensive to say for people who don't have Schmigel-Wellington's disease disorder, but I have it, so I can say it, like the normal, so to speak, state. Sometimes I have that, but often, you know, it's one or the other. So yeah, see you in the next video, and thank you for listening. Thank you. I feel like information about Schmigel-Wellington's disease disorder isn't spread widely enough. It isn't common enough of a topic. So thank you for listening to this. Truly. We have Jim Crow. We have John C.